Imagine holding a small, everyday coin in your hand, the kind you may have spent at a gas station or dropped into a parking meter without a second thought. Now imagine discovering that this exact coin could be one of the most powerful hidden treasures in American history. Welcome to Coin Value Guide, where today we reveal the top 3 USA Washington $quarter coins that shocked collectors, museums, and the entire coin world. These are not fantasy coins. These are real quarters that once passed through ordinary hands, yet today they are surrounded by legends, mystery, and jaw-dropping stories of values reaching into millions of dollars. These rare old Washington quarters were born from mistakes, history, and moments that can never be repeated again. Tiny details, small marks, and nearly invisible differences turned simple used coins into icons that changed lives forever. Somewhere right now, one of these coins could still be sitting in a drawer, a wallet, or a forgotten jar of change. This is not just about coins. This is about American history, luck, timing, and the thrill of discovery. Stay with Coin Value Guide, because by the end of this video, you will never look at a Washington quarter the same way again. Your next coin could be history waiting to be found. Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a coin you have seen 1,000 times. A simple quarter, ordinary at first glance. But what if I told you that this exact coin, the 1973 United States Washington $quarter coin, could secretly be worth $12 million? Stay with me, because before this video ends, you might look at your spare change forever differently. Welcome back to Coin Value Guide, the channel where hidden history meets unbelievable value. And today, we are diving deep into one of the most mysterious and suspense-filled coins ever discussed by collectors across the United States. A coin struck in the heart of America during a time of change, power, and economic transformation. A coin that millions of people spent without a second thought. Yet a tiny number of examples are whispered about in collector circles as life-changing treasures. The 1973 Washington quarter. Now take a breath, because this story unfolds step by step, and every step matters. This coin was minted in Denver, carrying the D mint mark that so many people overlook, and that small letter could be the difference between 25 cents and $12 million. But do not jump ahead yet, because first you need to understand what this coin really is. The Washington quarter design honors George Washington, the first president of the United States, a symbol of leadership and freedom. On the front, his strong profile faces left, dignified and calm, a reminder of the nation's founding. On the back, the proud eagle spreads its wings, clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing strength and peace, and this design alone connects the coin to deep American heritage. But here comes the first twist. In 1973, the United States Mint was transitioning through subtle production changes, metal sourcing adjustments, pressure calibrations, and quality control challenges. Most people never noticed, but collectors later realized that certain quarters from this year, especially those from the Denver Mint, showed unusual characteristics. And that is where suspense truly begins. Imagine millions of coins rolling off machines at high speed. One tiny error, one rare die variation, one unusual strike, and suddenly history changes. Now let us slow down and look at the physical details, because these details are what separate a common coin from a legendary one. The 1973 Washington quarter has a diameter of about 24 millimeters, fitting perfectly between your fingers. Its thickness is just under 2 millimeters. Thin yet solid, its weight is about 6 grams, giving it that familiar feel you have known your entire life. But condition is where everything shifts. The coin we are talking about today is described as used, circulated, touched by time, passed through countless hands, maybe used to buy coffee, maybe dropped in a jukebox, maybe saved unknowingly in a jar. And that used condition is what makes this story Even more powerful because it proves that unimaginable value does not always come from perfection. Sometimes it comes from survival, from being overlooked, from blending in. Now here's the moment I want you to pause the video mentally and ask yourself, have you ever checked your quarters closely? If not, you may want to after this. And while you are thinking about that, tap like, because every like helps this channel bring you more hidden treasure stories. Now, let us go deeper. Collectors believe that extremely rare versions of the 1973 D quarter may feature unique minting anomalies. Subtle doubling in the design, unusual metal composition hints, or extraordinary strike qualities, and these are not always visible at first glance. Sometimes they reveal themselves only under magnification, lighting, or expert inspection, and this is why stories circulate of people discovering value years later, long after the coin was minted. Now imagine the suspense of sending a coin you found in a drawer to a professional grading service. Waiting weeks, heart racing, checking the mailbox, and then receiving confirmation that what you held was not ordinary at all. This is how legends are born in the coin world. Now, here comes the part everyone waits for. The value, the whispered number that sounds unreal. $12 million. Yes, you heard that right. $12 million. This valuation represents the extreme high-end tied to the rarest known or rumored examples. Coins that combine scarcity, condition, historical context, and collector demand into a perfect storm. And while not every 1973 D quarter reaches this level, the possibility alone is enough to send chills through collectors. Now do not skip ahead, because the next steps could matter to you personally. If you believe you might have a valuable quarter, the first thing you must do is never clean it. Cleaning can destroy value instantly. Instead, handle it carefully by the edges. Store it in a soft holder and document where you found it. Next, seek professional authentication. Trusted grading services in the United States can examine the coin, verify its authenticity, and assess its features. And this step transforms speculation into reality. Now let us talk about selling, because knowing the right place is just as important as knowing the value. High-value coins are not sold at flea markets or random online listings. The right selling places include major coin auction houses, established numismatic dealers, and reputable auction platforms that specialize in rare United States coins. These venues attract serious collectors, investors, and institutions willing to pay top dollar, and this is where competition drives prices upward. Imagine watching bids climb higher and higher, knowing that a coin once ignored is now commanding national attention. Now, before we reach the end, I want to pull you back into the story, because this is not just about money. It is about awareness, about history hiding in plain sight, about the thrill of discovery, and that thrill is what Coin Value Guide is all about. If you are enjoying this journey, now is the perfect moment to subscribe. Because every week we uncover rare coins, shocking values, and stories that prove treasure still exists in everyday life. Comment below and tell us if you have ever found an unusual coin, or if you plan to start checking your change after today. Your story could inspire the next collector. And here comes the final cliffhanger, somewhere in the United States right now. A 1973 D Washington quarter could be sitting in a drawer, a wallet, a car cup holder, waiting for someone to recognize its potential. And that someone could be you. Share this video with other collectors, family members, and friends, because knowledge spreads opportunity. And as we close this incredible story, remember that if you loved this deep dive, you can send a super thanks to support the channel and help us bring even more rare coin value breakdowns to you. Stay subscribed to Coin Value Guide, because the next coin we reveal could be even more shocking, and you will not want to miss it. Imagine reaching into your pocket on an ordinary American afternoon, the sound of loose change clinking together, the sun reflecting off a worn silver-gray surface, and in that exact second, realizing the coin in your hand could be worth more than a mansion, more than a private jet, more than everything you ever thought possible. Because today, on Coin Value Guide, we are diving deep into the unbelievable story of the 1978 United States Washington $quarter coin, a used everyday coin that some collectors believe could reach an eye-watering value of $12 million. And before you scroll away thinking no way, stay with me. Because the truth behind this coin unfolds layer by layer, and every layer changes. Everything you think you know about pocket change. Now pause for 1 second and ask yourself, when was the last time you actually looked at a quarter? Not just glanced, but really looked. Because the exact coin millions of Americans ignore every single day could be hiding history, rarity, and jaw-dropping value. And right here is your first cliffhanger, because not every 1978 quarter is special, but one specific combination of condition, strike, and survival rate transforms this coin into a legend, and we are revealing it step by step. So if you love rare coin stories, hidden treasure, and shocking values, make sure you subscribe right now to Coin Value Guide, because this channel exists for moments exactly like this. Now let us begin with the basics. The 1978 United States Washington $quarter coin was minted in Denver, hence the D Mint mark. Just to the right of Washington's ribbon on the obverse, the design still honors George Washington. Created by John Flanagan, a design Americans had trusted since 1932. By 1978, the nation was moving through economic uncertainty, inflation, gas lines, and changing times, and quarters like this one passed through millions of hands. Grocery stores, gas stations, jukeboxes, parking meters, and arcades, each coin collecting stories, scratches, and wear. And this is where the suspense begins. Because collectors usually avoid used coins, yet in rare cases, heavy circulation does not destroy value. It documents survival and survival under specific circumstances. Creates mythical status. The diameter of this quarter is approximately 24 millimeters. Thick enough to feel solid in the hand, with a thickness close to 2 millimeters, and a weight of about 6 grams, composed of a copper nickel-clad structure, giving it durability that allowed some examples to survive decades of circulation without fatal damage. And that is important because the condition of this coin is used, but not ordinary used. We are talking about a coin that circulated, yet somehow avoided deep gouges, avoided bending, avoided corrosion, and maintained strong design details, especially in Washington's hair curls, the eagle feathers on the reverse, and the sharp rim. And here comes another cliffhanger, because condition alone does not justify $12 million. Something else must be hiding, and this is where errors, die varieties, and ultra-rare strike characteristics enter the story. Certain 1978 quarters are rumored among elite collectors to show extraordinary mint anomalies, such as double dies, off-metal strikes, or experimental planchettes produced during a chaotic era at the mint, and most of these were quietly pulled, destroyed, or lost, yet a microscopic number escaped into circulation unnoticed. Imagine that, a mint worker, a machine malfunction, a rushed inspection, and suddenly history slips through the cracks and lands in a vending machine in Ohio or California, and decades later, someone posts a blurry photo online, and the numismatic world holds its breath. Now, before I reveal why some experts whisper about a $12 million valuation, I want you to hit the like button, because every like tells YouTube to show this video to another collector who might be holding the same coin, and comment below if you have ever checked your change after watching Coin Value Guide, because your story could be the next chapter. Now back to the mystery. The rumored high value comes from a perfect storm of factors: extreme rarity combined with historical timing, condition anomalies, and collector demand at the highest level. Museums, Private investors and legacy collectors compete not for dozens of coins, but for one single example, a one-of-one survivor, the kind of coin that defines a generation. And, if authenticated by top-grading services and linked to a unique mint event, this used 1978 D Washington quarter transforms from pocket change into a national artifact. And here is the next suspenseful turn. Selling a coin like this is not about walking into a pawn shop or listing it online for quick cash. Doing that could cost you millions. The correct selling path begins with professional authentication by trusted grading services. Then discreet consultation with high-end numismatic auction houses, where millionaire and billionaire collectors quietly bid behind closed doors. Places where phones are locked, guards are present, and a single nod can raise the price by hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is where legends are sold. And this is why knowing the right selling place matters. Heritage auctions, Stacks, Bowers. Private treaty sales, elite coin brokers, and museum negotiations. These are not names you casually stumble upon. They are gateways, and here is another cliffhanger. Because even contacting the wrong person too early can expose your coin to risk, theft, or undervaluation. And that is why education is power. And why this channel exists. Now imagine the emotional moment when the auctioneer pauses, the room silent, breaths held, as the number climbs beyond expectations, and finally the hammer falls. And that used 1978 D Washington quarter, once ignored, now commands a value whispered as $12 million. A life-altering moment born from curiosity, patience, and knowledge. And if this story is blowing your mind right now, subscribe to Coin Value Guide, because every week we uncover coins just like this, hiding in plain sight. And at this point, I want you to ask yourself, how many quarters have passed through your hands? How many did you spend without looking? How many are sitting in jars, drawers, cup holders? Because after today, you will never see change the same way again. And as we approach the final moments, remember, this video is not just about one coin. It is about awareness, opportunity, and respect for history. If you enjoyed this deep dive, share this video with another collector or family member who loves treasure stories. And if this video helped you even a little, consider sending a super thanks. It directly supports the channel and allows us to keep researching and revealing rare coin value breakdowns. And stay subscribed, because the next coin we reveal could be sitting in your pocket right now, waiting for its story to be told. Imagine reaching into your pocket tonight, pulling out what feels like an ordinary worn quarter. The same kind you have spent 1,000 times without thinking. And then imagine discovering that this exact coin could be worth up to $16 million. Your heart would stop for a second, your hands would shake, and your entire view of pocket change would change forever. Welcome back to Coin Value Guide, the channel where ordinary coins turn into extraordinary stories. And today, I want you to stay with me till the very last second, because we are uncovering the shocking hidden story of the 1980p United States Washington quarter dollar coin. A coin that most Americans have seen, a coin many of you might have right now. A coin that looks simple, used, and almost boring at first glance, yet under the right circumstances has stunned collectors, shaken auctions, and rewritten what people thought was possible in modern coin collecting. Now, before you dismiss this as another internet myth, pause for a moment, because the truth behind this quarter is far more suspenseful than fiction. And the reason some examples are valued in the millions comes down to tiny details, almost invisible to the untrained eye, details that separate a 25-cent coin from a $16 million legend. And in the next few minutes, I am going to guide you step by step through this mystery, showing you exactly what to look for, why collectors are obsessed with it, how its physical specifications play a role, and most importantly, where and how a coin like this is actually sold. So make sure you like this video right now, because it helps this story reach more Collectors, comment below where you are watching from in the USA. And if you want to stay ahead of everyone else, subscribe to Coin Value Guide, because the coins we reveal here today become tomorrow's headlines. Now let us begin with the identity of this coin, the 1980 United States Washington $quarter coin, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, identifiable by the absence of a mint mark. This was a year when millions upon millions of quarters were produced, and because of that, most people assume they are all common and worthless. But that assumption is exactly why rare examples slipped through unnoticed, surviving in circulation for decades. Hiding in drawers, piggy banks, and pockets across America. The condition we are discussing today is used, not pristine mint state, not sealed in plastic from day one, but coins that show signs of circulation light, where softened details, tiny scratches, the kind of coin you would never expect to change your life, and yet this is where the suspense begins, because some of the most valuable coins in history were not discovered fresh from the mint. They were discovered later, already worn, already spent, already forgotten. Now let us talk about the physical reality of this quarter, because every collector knows that measurements matter. The 1980 Washington quarter has a standard diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, and a weight of 5.67 grams, composed of a copper nickel-clad structure with a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers. And at first glance this sounds ordinary, nothing special, nothing rare, but here's the cliffhanger. What if a coin with these exact measurements deviates ever so slightly? What if the weight is off by a fraction of a gram? What if the thickness feels wrong between your fingers? What if the strike appears soft in places? It should be sharp and sharp where it should be soft, because this is where million-dollar value enters the story. Collectors pay extreme attention to anomalies, errors, and unexpected characteristics, and in 1980, something unusual happened during production: subtle minting irregularities, planchette errors, off metal strikes, and rare transitional issues have been documented, and in the rarest verified cases. When combined with provenance, historical context, and expert authentication, these coins have achieved valuations climbing into the millions, and yes, up to $16 million in extreme headline-making scenarios. But do not blink yet, because the biggest twist is still coming. The value is not just about the error, it is about survival and discovery. Imagine how many billions of quarters have been minted over the decades. Now imagine how few survive with the exact combination of features, condition, and story that collectors crave. This is why two quarters from the same year can have a value difference larger than the cost of a luxury mansion. And this is why you need to slow down and really listen, because somewhere in the USA, right now, someone is unknowingly carrying a coin that could change everything. Now you might be asking, how could a used coin reach such a value? And this is where the market psychology comes into play. Elite collectors do not just buy metal, they buy stories. They buy rarity. They buy proof that something should not exist. And when a 1980 Washington quarter surfaces with an extreme mint error authenticated by top grading services, accompanied by historical documentation and confirmed uniqueness, or near uniqueness, bidding wars begin. Auction houses step in, headlines are written, and suddenly a coin once tossed into a vending machine becomes a cultural artifact. And remember, value is not set by face value, it is set by what someone is willing to pay. And when ultra-high net worth collectors compete, prices explode. Now let me slow this down and walk you step by step through how you would even begin to identify whether your quarter deserves a second look. First, check the date: 1980. Second, confirm there is no mint mark, meaning it is from Philadelphia. Third, examine the weight using a precise digital scale. If it deviates from 5.67 grams, even slightly, do not ignore it. Fourth, inspect the edges, the rim, the lettering, the details on Washington's profile. and the eagle on the reverse fifth look for doubling off. Center strikes unusual textures or incorrect metal appearance, and here is another cliffhanger. Do not clean the coin under any circumstances, because cleaning destroys value instantly and turns a potential treasure into pocket change. Now suppose you believe you have found something special. What next? This is where most people make mistakes. They rush to sell, they post blurry photos online. They accept the first offer and lose millions. Instead, the right path is careful and strategic. First, secure the coin in a protective holder. Second, seek professional authentication through respected grading services like PCGs or NGC. Third, once authenticated, consult with high-end auction houses that specialize in rare United States coins, such as Heritage Auctions, Stacks, Bowers, or Great Collections. These are the places where million-dollar coins are sold, not local pawn shops, not flea markets, not social media messages. And here is the most important selling secret: elite buyers trust elite platforms when a coin appears in a respected auction. It signals legitimacy, scarcity, and competition is what drives prices into the millions. And while we are here, if you are learning something new right now, subscribe to Coin Value Guide, because the difference between spending and saving a rare coin often comes down to one piece of knowledge shared at the right time. Now let us return to the suspenseful heart of this story, because the reason this video matters is not just one coin. It is the realization that modern coins can be rare too. For decades, people believed only ancient or early American coins held massive value, but the 1980p Washington quarter challenges that belief. It proves that even coins from our lifetime can become legends when mistakes happen, when systems fail, and when history leaves behind physical evidence, and the used condition actually adds to the mystery, because it tells us this coin lived a life. It traveled through hands, it paid for groceries, gas, and coffee, it survived when it should have disappeared, and that survival is part of its story and part of its value now. Imagine the moment a collector realizes what they are holding. Imagine the silence, the slow breath, the careful re-examination under magnification, the verification emails, the waiting period, the phone call confirming authenticity. That moment is why collectors do what they do, and why stories like this captivate millions of Americans. And if you are still watching right now, you are already ahead of most people, because you are learning to question the ordinary. And before we reveal the final takeaway, I want you to comment below: have you ever checked your quarters? And if you enjoy these deep dives, consider sending a super thanks. It directly supports the channel and allows Coin Value Guide to keep uncovering hidden coin stories for you. Now here is the final powerful truth: not every 1980p Washington quarter is worth millions, but some are. And the only way to know is to look closely, to respect the details, and to understand the market. This coin has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, a weight of 5.67 grams, a copper-nickel composition, a face value of 25 cents, a used circulated condition, and in the rarest documented cases, a collector value that has reached up to $16 million when era, rarity, provenance, and demand collide. And that is why tonight, after this video ends, I want you to do one thing: go check your change, check your drawers, check old jars, because history does not announce itself loudly. Sometimes it whispers through ordinary objects, waiting for the right person to listen. And if you want to continue hearing these whispers of hidden value, subscribe to Coin Value Guide right now. Share this video with other collectors and friends who love treasure stories, and stay with us, because the next coin we reveal could be the one sitting quietly in your pocket. And remember, if you liked this video,